do you expect it to happen in isolation with the small caps is what I'm getting? I know that Nvidia's done that. Some other stocks have done that themselves. But if you're talking about all of the small, the small caps as an index moving up that much, what do these other things do?
Well, I think that a 40% move in small caps doesn't mean the rest of the market goes down. I just think that's going to highlight that the market is broadening, which is something we all expect. But it's also basically doing a risk-reward analysis, which is, look, I think if you can get 18% earnings growth and pay 10 times earnings, perhaps that's a good risk-reward. And I think money that's on the sidelines or people who've been thinking bonds are going to be and cash is a place you want to stick for the next 5 years, but if the Fed starts cutting, they're going to look for places where there's good risk-reward, and I think that's small caps. Do
you need dramatic cuts for that thesis to pan out, or are there other potholes in the road that you see that threaten your thesis?
Well, a recession would be negative. I don't think the Fed has to make major cuts. It actually just has to. I think the market narrative that would be the best for small caps is the belief that real interest rates are too tight now, 5.5% versus inflation trending towards 2%, and getting rates back down to a neutral rate of 3%. If the market believes that, they don't need the cuts to be front-end loaded, but they have to believe we're going back towards neutral. I think that'd be a huge catalyst for small caps.
The buzz is undeniable. Nvidia, a name synonymous with innovation, is at it again and making waves in the stock market. Recent headlines have spotlighted Nvidia for a series of extraordinary achievements, capturing the attention of investors worldwide. In a remarkable ascent, the company has surpassed even its own lofty expectations, not just by joining the prestigious Dow Jones Industrial Average, but by generating record-breaking revenue figures that are hard to ignore. Nvidia's transformation into a leader in the AI chip market marks a pivotal turning point, and its stock performance tells the tale of a meteoric rise. Tech giants like Microsoft and Oracle have hinted at something groundbreaking in partnership with Nvidia, but the complete picture remains tantalizingly unclear. What could the next steps be for this industry titan? Welcome back, everyone, to Investocracy.
Let's get right to Nvidia, moving higher after beating on both the top and the bottom line, also nearly doubling sales year on year. Yesterday on the earnings call, Jensen Huang did reiterate the strong demand for AI.
The age of AI is in full steam. Generative AI is not just a new software capability, but a new industry with AI factories manufacturing digital intelligence, a new industrial revolution that can create a multi-trillion-dollar AI industry. Demand for Hopper and anticipation for Blackwell, which is now in full production, are incredible.
Jim, everyone wants to talk Blackwell, but even some of the Hopper guidance was surprisingly good.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is one of those situations where whatever you can get from them, you'll take. That can be very stark because you may not be able to get the first-ranked stuff. I think that there are multiple customers. Look, I want to step back for this in a second. I've never seen anything like this. There are multiple customers who would buy everything they have. When I say everything they have, I don't mean like, hey, you know what, I really want some. I mean like, I will take everything you have. And the customers that we're talking about are customers that we all know. And they are not doing it in order to be able to say, because the other guy may have it. There's going to be a winner-take-all, loser-take-none aspect. But the main thing is that everybody has something that they feel they can make 5 to 1 on. You know, I'll pay you $40,000. I'll make 200,000. And David, when I say I've never seen anything like it, what I mean is that this is a different order of company that we've ever seen in our years together, because it's really reinventing. No, it's not. It's creating a whole new industry. And in order to understand it, you have to do things that you've never done before. Like, for instance, I put in, Jensen says something that's rather, I don't mean to go on too long, but Jensen's talking about something that he likes, a Google product that he just, he's just constantly on. I mean, a good example.
Same thing that Benioff said the other day.
I talked to Mark about it. Absolutely. And what you do is, like, you input, tell me what's so great about this conference call. And, here it is. I mean, I've got it.
Tell me.
This is it.
Okay.
Well, all we asked, this is Jeff Marks. We put in, give us the highlights. This is the product that Jensen said he loves to talk to.
Oh, you used the Google product to actually go over the conference call.
Well, he was using the living daylights out of it.
Because thank you, Carl. Because I used the living daylights out of it, so I did it. And I got 5 pages of just the quick distillation. If someone said, pick your best 5 pages. I don't mean to wax too authoritatively on this. I will say this. That when the stock was at 140, 141 this morning at 3:30, I was going to town on whatever they call it now.
We noticed.
Just saying, listen, what are you, clowns? It's just short-selling clowns with 100 and 200 shares. Because this thing is not anything I've ever seen.
The journey of NVIDIA is nothing short of a technological epic. Once a giant in video gaming, the company's chips have found new life in the booming field of artificial intelligence. NVIDIA has evolved dramatically from its origins, leveraging its capability in parallel computing to surf the waves of the AI revolution. The catalyst here was NVIDIA's CUDA platform, which unlocked the potential of GPUs beyond gaming. This strategic pivot enabled NVIDIA not only to claim over 80% of the AI chip market, but to redefine its own identity in the tech industry. Now, NVIDIA's GPUs are the cornerstone for companies looking to advance in AI development. Think Meta Platforms and Microsoft, to name a few. What really sets NVIDIA apart is how it has seamlessly embedded its technology across various public cloud platforms, making its AI products and services notoriously easy to adopt. This has been a boon not only for NVIDIA, but also for its customers, enhancing accessibility and integration. Such ease of use has driven NVIDIA's data center revenue through the roof, with margins soaring past the 70% mark, a figure that makes Wall Street stand up and take notice. But before we go any further, if you want to keep up with NVIDIA's latest updates and keep up with the stock market's latest news, you can follow our Twitter account. We post multiple times daily about the biggest changes and catalysts in the market, so click the follow button if you don't want to miss the newest market updates.
And of course, what you were using from Google is generating what it does on their.
Yeah, I'd say kind of a hall of mirrors, but.
Right.
Yeah, when I spoke to the company after for about a half hour, and what they're talking about. First of all, the story that came out this weekend about burning too hot, they used some words that I was surprised. They said it's a lie. Now that's hard. That's where you go to jail when you lie about financials, journalists, whatever. It's a lie. I would not want to commit a lie against this company. There was no heat issue.
You don't believe that because they deny it. So you believe them and you don't. I mean, I
believe.
Even you said there are probably people within the company talking to the information.
Yeah, well, that's what they do. But if you go to a reseller, a wrapper, a packager, of which there are 3, right? Supermicro and Dell and HPE, they did not report any overheating. So it's entirely possible that you bought something, you got something, and you souped it up and you overheated it.
I see.
But David, it's a serious charge to say that story was a lie and they couldn't do anything about it because they were in quiet. I do not want to be affiliated with a lie, and anyone else who's affiliated with it, I think, is suspect.
Yeah, no, you never feel good as a journalist when a company calls you out in that way.
No,
That's
you
for
don't.
Sure, and it's something you want to avoid.
Yeah.
All right, let's get back to the actual quarter itself and what it means for the future. $37.5 billion in revenues in terms of guidance for fiscal fourth quarter of 25.
Right.
I mean, let's just talk a little math here. Obviously, yes, we've never seen anything like it. What do they do? $94 billion in revenue. They're on a run rate of over $100 billion.
A lot of revenue.
A 94%, increase. First time in 5 quarters, so they didn't have more than a triple-digit increase in
I know, it was very
revenue
disappointing.
growth.
There were clowns who were actually made like clowns. I don't mean that. I mean chowderheads.
But your point is simply the demand for Blackwell is undiminished. It will take this product throughout its ramp. There will be endless demand for it.
Yes, and then every year, they're going to get back on every year. They'll have Rubin, which is much more powerful than this. But
Rubin's next?
Yeah, from Philly, Rubin.
Got it.
To lighten the mood, consider this. Investing in NVIDIA today is a bit like finding the golden ticket in a Wonka bar, except this time, Willy Wonka himself, aka Jensen Huang, assures you that the age of AI is not just a wonky promise, but a tangible reality. Even in the face of potential export restrictions imposed by an unpredictable political climate, the resilience and vision expressed by Huang reflect a determination to keep NVIDIA's innovations flowing globally. Such conviction reassures investors and industry players alike that cooperation in technology development and application will endure. Backing up the hype is Nvidia's most recent market performance, and boy, is it impressive. Take into consideration that Nvidia has not just been about lofty ambitions, but achieving tangible results. Its quarterly revenues shot up by 94%, and many are looking to see if this growth trajectory is sustainable with the predicted introduction of its new Blackwell architecture. Nvidia's Blackwell could be to AI what Gutenberg's press was to literacy, a transformative leap. With a forecast of 70% revenue growth in the upcoming fourth quarter and predicted annual earnings per share growth of 35% over the next 5 years, it's no wonder analysts are giving Nvidia a strong buy rating. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
There were those concerns in the last week or so about the chips overheating, the Blackwell chips overheating when put in some of these server arrays. I've read other reports that people are speculating it's already been corrected. What do you think?
From our conversations with people over there, it has been corrected. And I think the other piece that's happening is this is really complicated. Not a lot of companies have ever done this before. And I think they've tried all different possibilities and combinations. And I think they've figured out a couple solutions. And that's what we heard. And this shift is actually important because if you think about what is next, right, it's going to get even smaller and it's going to get even hotter. And as you know, the consumption and the power consumption on these chips hopefully come down, but people keep stacking more chips in one place, which is why they get really hot in data centers.
Ray, I had not heard the argument before about people retiring at NVIDIA. Obviously, if you've been there 5 or 10 years and you've got stock options or restricted shares, you're sitting pretty. You've made a whole lot of money, and it is pretty easy to walk out the door. Where does NVIDIA get new talent?
Oh, they're not having trouble finding new talent. I have a son that's a comp sci econ major, and as he tells me, every comp sci major today actually is looking for a job because AI is pretty much obliterated. So NVIDIA is getting a lot of great talent from different companies, from young startups who are actually folding into experts in the enterprise that have been around for a while. So they don't have a hard time finding talent, but the existing talent pool is actually some of them are starting to take a break.
Even if there are problems with the Blackwell chips, if there were issues around it, my first thought was, where do they go? Right now, there's nowhere. But who is in pole position, even if they're far behind? Who's in the second place? Who might be able to come in and have a different offering at some point down the road?
We all hope that AMD has something to offer, but the challenge is the gap is so huge, right? They put so much money into the development of this set of chips and the capital required to get to the next set of chips. And if you continue to go down that path, very few companies are going to be able to pull that off. And I think that's really the challenge. But when people say, hey, what do you do after NVIDIA? The question is, and we'll take a quote from the Wayne Gretzky playbook, let's skate to where the puck will be next. And the question really is, what are we going to do when we go from semis to hardware to hyperscalers to software? Where does that move to the next piece? And once again, NVIDIA has an answer. They're in the space. Their CUDA layer actually allows them to build the software on top of the chips and create that access point for the next set of ecosystem. And so the layering that's going on at NVIDIA is what really makes it a very tough company to beat, because they've been thinking through all the possibilities, and Jensen has even more to offer going forward.
As the dust settles and investors ponder the heights NVIDIA may yet scale, reaching the elusive $4 trillion market valuation looms not as an insurmountable peak, but as an achievable milestone on its strategic journey. High demand for its upcoming Blackwell architecture promises to fuel NVIDIA's stock upwards, potentially marking a historic financial achievement that no other company has managed to achieve. Consequently, NVIDIA's shares, albeit not cheap, remain enticing, especially for the long-term investor seeking growth in the AI realm. Considering this confluence of technical prowess, backed by proven financial results and burgeoning market demand, investing in NVIDIA at this juncture appears to be not just a smart move, but an exciting one. Will NVIDIA continue to reign supreme and establish itself as the powerhouse of AI technology, or will market dynamics chart a different course? What's your take on NVIDIA's trajectory and its ambitious targets? Engaging the community in this dialogue may well illuminate further insights on the next giant leap for NVIDIA. And finally, if you would like to know what companies like NVIDIA have been up to these past few days, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there!